Thomson Grid, Mid-Age Traveller. Mystique.
Since the invention of the automobile, advertisers, novelists, musicians, and movie makers have both conceived and created an aura of magic and mystique based on the concept of the reciprocal relationship between humans and vehicles. All shapes and sizes of man and machine have been utilised to explore the idea of the freedom of the road. The road trip, the metaphorical journey of self-discovery, en route rebellions, with or without a cause, 1,000 romances blossoming on the back seat, lives reshaped from behind the wheel, for better or for worse, dreams lived and nightmares spun into reality. Way before my time, Frank Capra's 1934 movie It Happened One Night casts Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert together for the very first time. The movie features the classic moment where Claudette hitches a ride by hitching her skirt to reveal a slim leg adorned in nylon stockings. The next passing motorist is a rustic pickup driver who immediately slams on the brakes. They jump aboard and are on their way, on the next stage of their comic on-the-road romance. First on the road, with the Ford Anglia, is an 11-minute-long advert for the racy, chic, adaptable little runaround released in 1959. The advert features two young couples on a day out in the new car, top speed 75 miles per hour. All is rosy as they speed along the open highway. Then, suddenly, without warning, the driver decides to take the car off-road, up quite a bumpy-looking dirt track through the forest. The actors, come passengers, begin to look a little disconcerted as the car lurches, rather alarmingly, and the camera homes in on the spinning wheels to showcase the excellent suspension. They then arrive, in an unlikely turn of events, at a perfectly flat field, in which the passengers have to feign non-amazement as our driver begins to weave in and out between a set of red cones to display the remarkable handling of the car. Happily, they all arrive home safely. The Ford Anglia was the first car I ever saw parked in the area where I lived as a child, and on the first day it arrived, all of the kids sat around the car on the sun-warmed pavement, marvelling at its cool blue colour, shiny hubcaps, and funny triangular-shaped windows. It was also the first family car that my wife can remember. She recalls long journeys for family visits to Scotland, when her father would use the bars of the youngest child's cot to separate the kids in the back from the adults in the front. She tells tales of much squabbling, squirming, and sibling rivalry taking place in the back, without the hindrance of seatbelts, which was simply considered unnecessary in those early days of family motoring. When I was only old enough to be reading the adventures of Biffo the Bear in the Beano comic, Tom Wolfe was writing his groundbreaking road trip adventure, The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test of 1968, which describes the real-life escapades of Ken Casey and his merry pranksters, who go very much further than really required during an LSD-fueled crossing of the USA in a colourfully painted bus. This genuine adventure set the blueprint for much of the subsequent hippie movement and suggested a new way of life away from the norms of society. Somehow, the life on the road leads to the breaking of rules. And on we go, down through the decades. In 1980, Willie Nelson sings that he and his friends are on the road again, like a band of gypsies going down the highway. As we cross into the new millennium, the Forsaken movie of 2001 gives us the unlikely yet hugely entertaining twist of a road movie featuring vanning vampire hunters. In 2011, a VW campervan TV advert depicts 60 years of man and van in perfect harmony, featuring the Beach Boys, obviously singing in perfect harmony. God only knows where I'd be without you. As a teenager in 1979, I decided to set out on my own road trip with a school friend and soulmate to Glastonbury Festival. Not for us the Ken Casey colourful bus trip, or the band of gypsies going down the highway, or indeed the comic romance of Clark and Colette's journey. However, like Clark and Colette, we did start our journey at a bus station and ended up with our thumbs out at the side of the road. We had just gone for the music. John Martin, Steve Hillage, the sensational Alex Harvey Band, and the Slits. But, as I had kind of hoped, there was something else going on there, which was remarkably alluring to a young lad still at school. I'll never forget being astonished at this whole other culture of people who seemed to live outside the rules of normal life. Many of them living in converted trucks, vans and buses, at large in the countryside, travelling freely, but with Glastonbury as the magnetic centre of their movement. I really wished I could actually drive.